Welcome to the July market update with Mr. Murray. Today we got the Wizard of Finance, Nick, with us as well. And look, similar market to last month. In my opinion, just to open it up a bit before I pass it to you, Mr. Murray, the market seems to have stabilized a little bit. Hasn't gone up in prices. I mean, prices are still dropping ever so slightly. The biggest drop probably was in March, April. But would you say that the market is stable or more stable than what it's been in the last 7 months?
I would say so, yes. I agree. So stabilise is going to be a word we're going to use a lot in this update. Yeah, seemingly when we look back at February and March and potentially April, that's where the big significant drops were, certainly in volumes as well. But we've sort of seen the volumes sort of stabilise the last 3 months in terms of our numbers have been really stable, and for this time of year, actually not too bad. So I'd be interested to see what spring brings. And Nick, over to you. What's happening in the money world?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're starting to see a rise up in first home buyer with the removal of the pricing caps on houses. So now we can buy up to 875,000. Obviously we're in Auckland with new or existing homes. So that is really contributing largely to, in my opinion, a market shift. We have got a really smooth process in place now for people that are looking to buy their first home with the first home loan scenario. That's brought to you by Kainga Ora and the New Zealand government, and Westpac and a couple of other smaller banks are allowing us to get those loans for you guys. So yeah.
Let me be the devil's advocate here, though, because it's easy to get the money, but the banks are testing such a high interest rate of 7.85%, right? So I see a one-way going, yes, it's easy to get the money, but on the other end, well, people can't afford the repayment at the very high testing rate. And if you don't know what a testing rate, Nick, you can explain it better than me, right? Please.
Yeah, absolutely. So the current market interest rates are about 5.5%. However, when we do go and put your financials together, we do test at a higher rate. So we put a higher interest rate into the calculators to make sure that you can afford the payments should the market or the interest rates in the market increase again as well.
Yeah, okay. So a little bit of it's easy on one side, harder on the other side. But Mr. Murray, before we wrap it up for this month, we had last week, for the first time in my team, one auction cancel. That's the first time that I had an auction cancel in 2022, where in 2021 it's probably happened 20 times. Then the rest of the wider team had a couple of pre-auction offers.
By cancel, you mean that it was a buyer came in, made an offer that the vendor was happy to accept, the property was withdrawn from the market and sold, and then we've had another one over the course of the weekend that's been accepted. And hey, maybe I'm being the other way and being the optimist, but is that the start of things to change? Because we haven't seen those in a long time. But what if you do see 1 to 2 a month, maybe that turns into 5 next month, and then 15 the following month, and into summer. If it's ever a right time to buy, I know it sounds so cliche, but hey, in living memory, I can't remember where there's been so much media coverage about the market and values coming down. Time to buy is now.
And look, those are small victories, but it's nice to have some victories. So let's see what happens next month for the month of August. Thank you so much, Nick. Mr. Murray, always a pleasure. We'll see you next month.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.